America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Colbert.
Here.
Crowner.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Lees.
Here.
Young.
Here.
Hey, I would entertain a motion to perfect the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Support.
Motion and support. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have our consent agenda. There are 3 items on that.
Motion to approve is presented. And support.
Motion and support. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So we'll move on to our council staff reports and community reports. Greg, would you like to weigh in from a distance?
Sure. Reminder, May 4th, we have an open house down at the library. That is the Arts and Culture group that's holding an open house and for public input. May 8th is the final wrap-up session and celebration. We met out yesterday on site at the trail to review the remaining issues that need repaired before we close out the project. We probably agree on about 80% of them. There's a few that our engineers following up on. Budget PowerPoint, April 23rd, special meeting, along with the budget. We'll be discussing the renewal plan Friday with bond council. Start getting that prepared. Noticing my note, do have a call tomorrow afternoon with Madison with Bolton and Link to discuss the statewide TAP funding that came available for trails. It's $5 million, but it is statewide. I'm on repairs. You've started to see them. They said they should be doing those in earnest in the next 2 weeks, coming back. So if folks have issues, just let us know or we'll forward it on to Imon after those repairs are complete. Thank you.
I think he said May 4th for that open house at the library, but that's this April 4th.
April 4th.
This Friday.
April 4th, excuse me, yes, April 4th.
Yeah,
Yep.
noon to 5:30. It's just an open
Thank you.
house, walk in, talk to them a little bit, and don't have to stay the whole time.
It's meant to, the students will gather input on arts, culture, and transportation, input for the community, and they'll be using the input to provide recommendations back to our communities as to what we want to see in our communities and options. There's a press release that they've sent out, and I probably get resent out in the next days, but anybody listening, please stop down at the public library, 12:30 to 5 this Friday, open house format. There will be snacks and drinks, and the students will have prompts to get you to provide input for things. So
It's on the
please,
city's Facebook page as well.
perfect.
So there's no presentation, it's just a walkthrough, give advice?
Yes, your input to them, they're trying to gather advice from people and input, and then they'll summarize it, and it'll be part of the information presented back to us on May 8th. So yeah, encourage everybody to show up.
Chase?
We had a little water project on Melville last week. We had to tear out a guy's driveway for a couple times now, so we end up just replacing all the pipe underneath his drive, so we won't have to do it again, so it's all new. And replaced a hydrant right next to it that was leaking, so hopefully that's good for a while. I met with Burlington about maybe doing some shared services with paint striping in the future after this year. And I think we're going to have more discussion on that, whether it be sharing a machine or whatever it might be. But there was discussion on that this last week. And then Imon's going to be here next week to do all the street repairs that they've cored out because finding utilities or whatever all throughout town. So.
Do you have a time frame on the Ring Road repairs?
I do not have that.
Okay.
But
I mean, it'll depend obviously on the apartment, but.
yep.
Yep.
Then we'll be working on that sidewalk as soon as they got their fencing down. So. Yep.
And how about West Burlington Avenue Chase and the status of the state work on that bridge?
They said it was, if everything went right, it was gonna be closed for a month. So they said it, weather permitting, it could be a month. And they said they're pretty confident on that, but it could go a little longer. But that's all I've heard from that, so.
Thanks.
Jesse, police and fire?
Yeah, we started our radio install finally after a year and a half. It's a process. All of our squad cars have the new radios in them. They're working on Burlington and County now, and hopefully by next Tuesday we'll be able to hit the switch and go on to ISIX is the program. We're on a band of UHF now. The traffic that I'm picking up on ISIX now is very clear. Pick up State Patrol all the way from here to Cedar Rapids. Sounds like they're sitting right next to me, so it's a good system, but it's just been taking a little bit. Still working through some delays with them shipping parts is what it is. Just getting the stuff shipped to, our project was what the holdup was. Nothing on our end. Nothing really on the Motorola side. It was just getting from the manufacturer the parts that we were required to have. We finished the interview room. It's ready to go. And Justin and I just finished fire inspector class on Monday, so we have some homework and tests to take, and we'll have our certification for inspector on the fire side. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Kelly, anything from
Not
you?
tonight.
Okay. Angie, anything? Any other staff reports? No.
Kelly, could you just let us know how's things going with the swimming pool and,
Yeah, they are, Kelly's been doing interviews for the last couple weeks. I think she was up to 18 lifeguards right now. Not all certified, but she has made arrangements with somebody at the Y that will put on a special certification class for us after we get all of, the majority of them hired. We have, I think she said, 4 or 5 that have come over from Burlington, so that they're walking in certified, which is nice. Still hiring but yeah.
The new boiler and the check valves are in, speaking of the pool, and done. And once we fill it, they'll come back and make sure everything's running good, but they're all in, so.
what's our targeted opening date, please?
June 7th. I think West Burlington is still in school till June 4th.
Okay, so June 7th, thank you.
Kelly, what's the number of people it takes to run it full bore?
I think it's 14 people to have every part of the equipment open, including the concession.
14.
14.
Thank you.
So that would be probably 9 certified guards to do a full rotation, and depending on how she does her rotations, but that should allow us to have everything open.
Okay. Melanie, anything from you?
Just encourage people to show up at the Burlington Public Library this Friday between 12:30 and 5 and provide your input. This is your chance to input direction going forward. Thank you.
Okay. Trees?
Do we have a newsletter going out?
We have started working on one, yeah.
Okay.
Have a multitude of things.
I was wondering, in the mail, I always get this little thing from some funky waterworks that tells me that I'm not protected from, like, the service that the city provides from the meter into my house. And I know, Greg, I think you looked that up one time, if maybe we could put that on the website, like, which is a good company that the league recommends for people, so they don't get hoodwinked into some company that's a fly-by-night ordeal.
I'll have Katie do some research on it. She has looked at that before, and I think there's something that the city might have to adopt in order for that to take place, but I'll get some more information for you.
Some sort of a homeowner's warranty or something like that. And I've gotten several of them in the mail, and I know my neighbors called and asked if I've done it yet, and I said, no.
I know we recommend calling just your normal home insurance. Sometimes they have an incoming service line coverage that isn't very expensive.
Yeah, that's what we have done in the past too, if people call about it. But I'll do some more checking with Katie and see what she's found.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, John?
Yeah, two things. Have we heard anything about the mural that's being painted, like the feedback on what is going to be?
I have no update. I have nothing
Nothing on that.
new at this time.
Because it was such a hurry to get that through, and then now I haven't heard nothing.
And the day that we met to discuss it and have the input, she also updated us that the urgency had lessened a bit because she was under the impression she had to have it done and completed by May 8th, and she discovered that, no, she has more time to get it done, this one done. So that's what she's been able to, she didn't
Okay.
want to have to rush it, and then she found out from, I forget the gentleman, the guy really running the whole program. Yeah.
John Strauss.
That he did not have to rush it, so, and I haven't heard anything. Greg, have you?
Travis Krause, no, I haven't heard an update. I do know she was doing a painting project.
Yeah, she was in the middle of something else.
But we will get a design before she does that, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then I also just want to remind the citizens that if you looked at your tax papers, some of the taxes went way up, and some went way more than I would imagine, but that the city kept their tax rate at 1010. And I think we're one of the lowest ones for a city of our size, so, you know, it wasn't us that your taxes went up, so just wanted to put that out there.
Andy?
Yeah, two things. Number one, want to congratulate Schluter's Auto Service on Business of the Year. Was not here that day, so thank you all for going, but this was our first meeting since that, I think, so congratulations to them. And then on 4th of July, I had a couple donations come in that I wanted to thank. Center State, Municipal Supply, KPI Concepts, Big River Resources, Five Star Credit Union, ABC Fire, Dave Bazine Electric, and Karen Elliott from Edward Jones. So if anybody wants to donate, we're of course taking those year round. And raffle tickets will be here in a week or two, so if there's any clubs or organizations that want to sell raffle tickets, tickets are $2 and your organization gets to keep $1. So we have several groups that sell thousands of tickets and make a lot of money for their group that way, and that goes to fund the fireworks, and then the other dollar goes towards your club or group or team or whatever. So those will be available here very soon. Thank you.
Ringo?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Thank you. The tax statement that you indicated, John, has statement saying that that the evaluation is something that the state has done in terms of that, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that.
Right,
You know,
that it is the state that is.
We did a very hard job of keeping our taxes at 1010, you know, I mean, and it would have been a lot easier if we would have raised it, and that's not the case for when you see your tax papers.
I have a presentation for the, the Greater Burlington Leadership Program has a presentation.
Yes, we do.
We're a subcommittee of the 23-20, or the 24-25 Greater Burlington Leadership Group this year. And we came up with our project that we wanted to do for the community, and we will fundraise and raise the money for that. And it's putting banners up downtown Burlington and West Burlington. Our goals are just the community pride, experience of our visitors who come, unify communities, and celebrate events and attractions. And so we just wanted to come this evening and kind of share with you our progress and our thoughts. I know our committee has met with Greg, and so we're just here for an update and to share with you where we're at.
Yeah.
Forgive me, I'll be staring this way for my notes. My name is Matt Colford. I am an art major from Missouri, but I've lived in Greater Burlington for 4 years now, and I'm a part of the Greater Burlington Leadership class this year and had the pleasure of working on the designs for the banners in downtown Burlington and West Burlington. Burlington's were approved a couple weeks ago, and so now we're here talking about the designs for West Burlington. So we did meet with Greg kind of at the beginning of all of this and kind of went over the do's and don'ts and the wishes for what each community would like to see represented on the banners. And West Burlington was just crazy enough to agree to our original goal of letting us put seasonal banners up, so a new set of banners for each season, which are coming around, and I'll walk you through some of those designs as we get there.
Thank you.
And then the second part is a connection to the designs for downtown Burlington, which I'll explain. Of course, the 4th of July celebration, and then a reoccurring thing that came up in our conversation was mention of the butterfly gardens and the new wildflower gardens and trails and parks. And so we really wanted to lean into how nature-inspired West Burlington is, because it is the more rural side of Greater Burlington, and so we wanted to kind of showcase that in some of these designs too. And then Greg threw us a curveball that was very interesting, because the downtown banners have the downtown Burlington logo on them. And Greg said, hey, sometime in the future, unsure when, but West Burlington might be getting a new logo and some colors. I said, when? And Greg said, I don't know. And so banners, in theory, will last 5+ years, and so we didn't want to design anything that would become outdated or irrelevant if the logo were to change in the near future. So we avoided the logo altogether and just instead chose a neutral text. And for color scheme, I chose just a generic color scheme for each season. That way, if you do get a different color scheme or logo down the road, it won't compete with that because they'll just be seasonal colors. However, the logo has not yet changed, and while I didn't want to put the old logo on a banner, I did want to find a fun way to make a nod to it. So I took the sunset and then the skyline that you see in the road and kind of merged the two together. So it is a little bit of an ode to the existing or maybe perhaps old logo in the future. And then, like I said, because West Burlington was crazy enough to let us do a new set of banners for each season, this banner actually changes throughout the season where the sun rises through each season. It sets in the winter and rises again in the spring. No one will ever see all the banners together like this, so you guys get insider information. You'll be the only one that appreciates that detail. But we did have a community pride aspect of this that Amanda's going to talk about.
So we wanted to pull in our local school districts, so we thought it would be cool to have a art contest, and we decided that we would go with 4th graders. So we went to West Burlington. We had this sheet that we had that Matt created for us that had a lot of prompts on it to spark some ideas for their drawings. So we dropped those off, and I believe all 4th graders in West Burlington completed them. We just picked them up last week, and we're going to be meeting to figure out who the winners are that would get their artwork showcased on a banner here in West Burlington. So
the one on the left there is an example of what the West Burlington banner is. The one on the right is the downtown Burlingtons. They're different sized banners. So there are going to be 2 per season, so 8 different kids will get their chance to have their art displayed throughout the season in the community. And I can't think of anything more fun than parents getting to drag family members that are visiting down to look at it and stuff like that. Maybe at the end sell it to the kid, I don't know. And so then just going into how we tied the 2 designs together. So the top there are the downtown Burlington designs. Obviously we couldn't use their colors or their logos, but I still wanted to keep things kind of tied together. So with the squiggly lines at the bottom, those are the same. The text stays the same. And then the seasonal banners that I did for downtown Burlington stayed the same throughout both communities. So throughout the seasons, we'll have some things that kind of tie the 2 together in a way. And then just going through what you're looking at, I mean, you guys can see them. They're just kind of generic, celebrating the seasons and mentioning West Burlington as many times as we could. The flowers that you see in the top left are wild roses, the Iowa state flower, the goldfinch, state bird, and then those are oak leaves behind it for the state tree. So really leaning into that nature conversation that we were having when we originally spoke with Greg. Then just some fun spring umbrellas. And then over here on the right, you'll see just a wall of different words, and these banners stay the same but change colors throughout the seasons. Essentially, I took every single adjective I could find on the city website or in blogs or other things talking about West Burlington and wrote them down and compiled the ones that I thought were rather nice. And so you'll see words that people have used to describe West Burlington in those banners. So it's kind of the same thing, but different colors throughout each season. This was, go back. The summer, of course, is where we pull in the 4th of July celebration, which I bothered Andy about with the fonts so that I could replicate those. That's just exactly the 4th of July celebration logo that you all have been using, and so I built the rest of it around that color scheme so that it would all go together. And then just same thing for fall. It wouldn't be rural Iowa without corn, so I had to throw that in there somewhere. And then the winter set, the only one that is drastically different here really is the one that features all of the local animals that come out in the winter. So those are the West Burlington banners in theory, the unapproved, unofficial West Burlington banners.
Cool. A lot of creativity.
Yes.
I appreciate your team, your group, your leadership class taking.
Had a lot of fun
The
noodling.
leadership, choosing this project for our community and then focusing on the two downtowns. I think it generates conversation and the banners, ultimately whatever we end up with, just interest and just more vibrancy, more sense of being alive.
Mm-hmm. And West Burlington does have banners, because, I mean, you can order banners from a cataloger through online, but some of the original conversation was, how can we really push this envelope and make them more personalized and more, hey, this is my community, and so that's sort of what we wanted to capture, so thank you.
Super.
So how much does those banners cost?
About $60 per, so we have a pickleball tournament fundraiser that will be taking place autumn. What's the date on that?
April 26th at the YMCA here in town. Registration is still live, so if any of you here are pickleballers or know of pickleballers, we would love to build more teams and really create a really well-rounded tournament for our community. And then, of course, a lot of this also comes from sponsorship, so we're reaching out to local businesses to be able to fund the project.
So we're about halfway to goal funding both banners. I think there are 131 in total between both communities.
And what's your timeline?
Well, as soon as we can get the artwork from the kids come in, we should have it funded by the end of our fundraiser, which happens at the end of April. And so then it's just, if we have all the artwork kind of redrawn to fit this format, we'll be able to get them ordered. So I think we'll miss the spring set of banners, but hopefully they'll be up for the summer.
So if we wanted to add something or delete something on it, that's easy enough to do now.
Mm-hmm.
And how hard is it to change these banners?
Oh, I mean, I have never put one up, so I guess I can't speak from experience, but what I have been told from people that do it is it just like, they
It's not
just
very
slide
hard.
Okay.
on and off. So,
I'm just thinking of you, Chase, that's all. Can we do this?
yeah.
Is it a ladder on a pole, or no, we don't use ladders, do
Are we
we?
gonna,
It's
are we
hard.
we
gonna
ban
put them
ladders.
on the poles we have out here?
What's that?
14.
We need 14 for our downtown?
Yep.
Okay.
Will we put these flags on the poles out here that we have, that we
Yeah,
switch
I think it's the
out?
same ones we put the happy holiday ones on, and the 4th of July, I assume, right?
Yes,
I mean-
yes.
Yeah. I was going to say Greg might know more, but he's here. I forgot. But yeah, in theory, they would just replace the generic ones.
I just want to thank you for including us. I think the leadership class is a great thing, but I'm not sure we've ever had a class participate out in West Burlington, so thank you very much
We're excited.
for including us.
Thank you.
Are there any students in the class this year that are from West Burlington or live out here that you
I
guys
live in
know?
West Burlington, if that counts.
You do? Where do you live?
I live in the Nexus Townhomes. behind
Oh,
Garden.
gotcha, super. That's what we want. We're just curious, okay. Oh, thank you, good.
Oh, I live in West
I was gonna say,
Burlington.
We're both just staring.
I moved the end of November, so I'm just still, I'm like, oh yeah, I do live here, yes. I do.
Glad you're here.
Welcome to town. Yes, some of the class does.
Super.
I'm not gonna speak for you, but I live in Minneapolis.
Good, well,
I went to Minneapolis.
good.
And
thank you.
performed in the 4th of July program last year, so.
Yes, that was very
Yeah.
exciting. I'll take it with you about that.
Absolutely.
Good, good. No, great, I think you're doing, thanks.
So there was just one little question. You mentioned there that you're wanting to keep the ones from Burlington to West Burlington kind of the same. Where'd that come from?
What,
mean-
the idea?
Yeah. Was
It
that
was
your
just-
ideas or somebody else's?
Well, no, it was part of the committee's ideas. The whole leadership class was talking about, our goals with this project, and some of it was creating, we don't want the downtowns to feel the same because they are obviously different, but a part of the same community, and so that's why we couldn't keep any of the same colors, of course, but even if we could have, we wouldn't have, because it was more fun for West Burlington to have their own kind of color schemes and
Yeah. I just,
symbolism, so. That your banners, your specific banners, other than like the fall leaves and the snowflakes, the few that I showed somewhere, these are the only ones that, those 4 on the side are the only ones that are exactly the same. The other 56 or however many you have are different, and then downtown Burlington's like 74 banners are different still. So none of them are technically the same, but we kept the same element, like the squiggly bottom, just so that it kind of had an overarching
okay.
refrain.
Just wondering where that came from.
Yep.
Do you need something specific from us for an approval on this, or?
Nope, I guess I don't want to press go on ordering a bunch of banners in the hopes that you hang them up for you to not like them, so. So I guess just to make sure that you guys do like them, and if, I'm happy to hear any critiques or if changes are necessary, but if you like them, then we'll just proceed forward and get them ordered once we have the money raised from the pickleball tournament.
We'll probably all talk to Greg about it and see which ones, because,
Sure.
Obviously, we're not going to pick them all, and obviously might be a change or two.
Sure.
So, yeah.
How the pages are set up, you have 14 polls and there are 14 designs per season, so.
But we didn't need to pick any
Right.
of these. These would all be
Yep.
ours. We're
Yep.
gonna use all of them. if
There
you're
is
okay with it.
one banner per poll that you have. So you could, in
Each
theory,
season.
pick all of them.
But you could make 5 of one if you wanted to, and not take the other.
Oh, I could. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep, absolutely.
For instance, if we wanted more for the 4th of July to put here, here, and here, and here,
It'd be on every poll.
They're gonna be on, these would all be 4th of July, used on the 4th of July on each poll. Right? Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
this,
let's
for
say-
example, this page here is the 4th of July.
Yep.
One of these will be on each pole.
Yep, but for example, if you didn't like the one with the bikes or something, you could say, hey, we don't want to do bikes, but we do want to do more fireworks.
yeah.
If you had that sort of feedback, that would be easy.
And we may want to do the fireworks there and the other fireworks and the other fireworks instead of all one size. So, there's several different options there.
You'll be interested to see what the kids come up with.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now,
We're gonna go through
Where they
those
had
tomorrow.
specific themes, or they could just draw whatever they wanted?
So they were given a list of 10 or so prompts, such as draw your favorite holiday memory, or draw your favorite thing to do downtown, those sorts of things. So it was up to them which prompt kind of jumped out at them and what they drew. So it'll be interesting. They're 4th graders, so you never know what you might get back. So we're excited to go through this. Yep, we're gonna go through them tomorrow.
I'm sure we'll be sharing them on social media too, so if you're following our Facebook page, please do. We'll be sharing more updates and obviously this whole creative process behind that.
Well, one suggestion I have for the bikes is that we go from like little itty bitty bikes to the big bikes. I don't know if you could have a progression of like training wheels to a medium size and a larger bike, because we have,
The competition it
Well-
goes from small kids, right?
yeah. I mean, we have different divisions.
It is kind of fun.
You can come and ride if you want.
Sure. That's what we have.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Nice job.
I don't know how to turn this off, so you're just stuck with this now.
Brad probably can figure it out for us.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Well, at this point, I have a Domestic Violence Prevention Month proclamation. So the proclamation is set for April of 2025. It says, whereas sexual abuse, sexual violence, and stalking affect everyone, or affect anyone, including children, causing long-term physical, psychological, and emotional harm, and whereas every 68 seconds an American is sexually assaulted and every 9 minutes that victim is a child, whereas approximately 70% of the people affected by rape, sexual assault experience moderate to severe distress, larger percentage than for any other violent crime, whereas sexual violence in rural communities exists as a hidden, silent, and often unrecognized crime that is often underreported. It's widespread, it is widespread and affects every community member. And whereas through the inspiration, courage, and resilience of people affected by sexual violence, our communities are learning to better respond to the life-changing impact of sexual violence on individuals through the systems and in the community. And whereas DVIP and RVAP have worked to end violence and abuse for more than 45 years through collaborative partnerships of staff, volunteers, local municipalities, criminal justice, health and human services, faith communities, business leaders, and private citizens. And whereas our community's achievements should be commended, we must continue our commitment to respect and support those affected by sexual violence and to prevent future violence in our community. Now therefore be it resolved that the West Burlington City Council do hereby proclaim the month of April 2025 to be Sexual Assault Awareness Month in West Burlington, and urge all people to work together to eliminate sexual violence, sexual abuse, and stalking from our community. Signed this second day of April 2025 in West Burlington, Iowa by Mayor Ron Teeter. And I'll present you with this.
Thank you.
You sure? All righty. And I'll pass them down.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
We just wanted to say thank you to the mayor and the council. So my name is Dr. Shel Fijo, and I'm the director of sexual assault at DVIP RVAP. We just had a large merger about 6 months ago, so the previous RVAP is no longer in existence, and we have taken over those services. I wanted to really make sure everyone knew that while this month is about just awareness, that 1 in 5 women and 1 in 33 men are victims of sexual abuse in their lifetime with a physical component, we really wanted to let you all know that we are here, and that we are answering the phone. So my advocate here, Rachel Long, is passing out information about Sexual Assault Awareness Month activities, but Rachel is a resident of the community and is here for victims. So she's a full-time advocate. We have advocates in all 8 counties, and it has just been wonderful for me as a director to watch this come to fruition. So we have a full staff. We are mobile advocates. We're 24/7. We have 2 hotlines. We work with law enforcement. We work with forensic exams. We work with healing for our clients long-term. And I think when you have a big merge, sometimes those things can get lost, right? Like, where are you? Are you still here? So we wanted to just make sure that you all knew that we're here and available. We have a triple layer on-call system, so someone will always show up. So I'll let Rachel speak for just a minute.
I live here just outside of Burlington, and I cover all of Des Moines County and Henry County. Call me if if somebody's you get a call. We have somebody that will respond within an hour. We have found that some people have fallen through the cracks, when stuff comes, but we want to make sure that we're called and that we're helping these victims the best we can.
Yeah. And we should mention that if a victim chooses not to file with law enforcement, that doesn't mean that we can't still offer support in lots of ways. And if they went through a forensic exam, for example, that kit is saved. So someone could decide not to want to make a report for a moment. Sometimes we can help with that, right? Just that it's safe in many ways if you have support. The last thing we want to mention, just because, what's the dog's name? Cordy? We have an incredible thing, so I just wanted to mention it because I love dogs, but we have a thing called Cooper's House. So at our Johnson County shelter, if anyone ever needs shelter for DV or SA, we have a dog pet shelter in our shelter where their animals can stay safe. And I just wanted to mention that because it's huge, especially for domestic violence. Oftentimes people don't want to leave their dog, right? So I had to mention that because it's awesome. But thank you so much. If there are any questions, I'd be happy.
Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. You know, if you hear of somebody that, you know, maybe they have fallen through the cracks, or you think maybe this person needs support, but they're not ready to talk. I'm meeting with clients daily.
Ladies, thanks a lot for your help, because it is an important part of the community doing this for the victims of sexual assault. A lot of women, when I was an officer, some women didn't even understand, even though they were married, they did not have to consent. And you know, the things like that, to be educated. But I appreciate you doing this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yep, they've been a lifesaver for us. Work well with them. They help tremendously out the hospital with the SANE nurses. Those two organizations between you guys and the SANE nurses, they help law enforcement out so much, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Those SANE nurses are incredible.
Yep.
Like, we couldn't do our job without them. Yeah, they're awesome.
So are these the numbers to call you? Because, you
Yes.
know, I wouldn't know who to call if I was.
Yes, so the numbers on there's 2 800 numbers. And then if you Google sexual assault Iowa, we're #1. We come right up.
Oh, yeah?
Like, it's pretty easy to reach us. But law enforcement also, they have all of our contacts usually. Yeah. It's almost a strange, like, the number just gets out there. I don't even know how to explain it. But Rachel also leaves flyers everywhere. So courthouses, libraries, bathrooms, various things. We do get a lot of referrals that way too.
With the current organization, because I know we've gone through a reorganization
Yeah.
the last couple of years, does it meet the need? Does it meet the demand?
Yes, so I would say that we are meeting the demand more effectively.
Okay, good.
That it is a full staff matters. DVIP has such a long history that it had the benefit of not being 100% federally funded, so it has enabled us to maintain consistent services. We are largely federally funded, so we do take hits in that regard, but a lot of shelters have like kind of no outside support. And we have an entire community engagement team that raises money all year long to try to keep us functioning, even if something happened that messed up our money, if that makes sense.
You bet, you bet.
I think the philosophy too of her, I want to repeat that, we live in the communities we're serving.
Yeah.
So precedent, I think a lot of them lived outside of the area. So now they have worked to have people in the communities that we serve.
That makes sense, that makes sense. You know, the tempo, and, yeah, thank you. Thanks.
So is your funding through Department of Human Services?
So we get VAWA funding federally, so the Violence Against Women Act.
Okay.
Then we also get some funding from the AG's office. That kind of varies depending. But they are largely supportive of victims' compensation and lots of things in that regard. And then we raise money all year long. So we do events. For Domestic Violence Month, we do a whole bunch, in October, but then all summer, we're at every fair. We come to anything, open houses. We also work with schools on prevention. So we're trying to just really be out there. It's a lot, but we have a big crew and a lot of passion.
You know, we have some 4th of July tickets.
Well,
Just throwing it out there.
okay, we're putting it out there.
I would be welcome to that.
Yeah, I think we're coming to a couple different things, but I'm not in that department, so they just tell me last minute where I have to go.
I know, like she said, fair, I'm active in fair anyway, so that's
Yeah, we love the
We'll be there.
fairs.
We have awful good fireworks and stuff. Good time.
Right, well, thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
And
Thank
thank
you
you
very
for what
much.
you do, more importantly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also, I just have to say, the banners were awesome.
Right?
Like, I just love it.
Yeah, can we put those back up there instead of Greg?
Please.
Do I have any citizen inquiries? Seeing none, we'll move on to our new business. We'll consider a resolution adding Andrew Pryor to the fire department.
Motion approved.
Support.
Motion and support. Any statements?
He would have been here, he's at a hazmat class for firefighter 1, so.
Great.
So he asked if he can start on that, and it's sure. So he's up there working on his firefighter 1. So.
See no more discussion? Call for a vote.
Johnson,
Support.
Lees,
Aye.
Young,
Aye.
Covert,
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Motion carries. We would consider adopting the 2045 comprehensive plan.
Motion approved.
Support.
Motion and support. Discussion of any kind? If not, then call for a vote.
Lees,
Aye.
Young,
Aye.
Covert,
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye. Motion carries. Number 3, consider a quote from Proline Stripping for street.
Striping.
What?
Striping.
Striping. Stripping. Sorry.
That could be a service.
It could be a service, but I don't think we better spend public money on
What are
it.
you doing out there at Public Works?
Motion to
Days?
approve. Proline striping for street striping services in fiscal year 2025-2026.
Motion approved.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion on this?
I just want to make the note too that I hope next year we can have the conversation with sharing some of this and see if there's some cost savings to be had. I know Burlington was talking about changing how they're doing striping, so maybe that'll make sense.
That's kind of what our meeting was. I think it was Tuesday, how we can go about doing it next year, so. And we're gonna meet again, so.
Appreciate that.
Are they considering a new machine? Is that part of the
Yeah,
discussion?
they're looking at a new machine and they, not sure what one yet and not sure how it all work with sharing cost, but, in the long run, it'd probably be a lot cheaper, so.
It would all be determined on how much and what we can use it versus,
The meeting was pretty much just discussion about how much we use it and how much they use it.
Yeah.
So then they could get a idea of who would be paying for what.
Yeah.
And then it was brought up that maybe we could go off of footage. So I'm gonna try to get footage of how many miles of lines we paint, and then how many miles of lines they paint, and maybe base it off that, so.
That would be the only way it would really be fair. If they do 100 miles and we do 10 miles,
Yep.
and we're sharing the equipment cost, then the equipment's going to run out, or, wear out faster and we'd be paying. But, if that works out,
And then they
sounds
talked
good.
about maintenance too, and you do the same percentage for maintenance cost too.
Percentage of it.
County
Interesting.
interested in this?
That was brought up, but, they said that they paint a lot more than what you think, and you might have to get a bigger machine than what we're looking at, so.
Okay.
There may be some overlapping areas like Highway 34, Mount Pleasant Street, at the end of the city's west city limits. There may be a few areas where we could cooperate, but to be determined.
Okay. I'll consider a vote on this. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. So, number 4, we have a resolution setting a public hearing on the proposed budget for fiscal year 2025-2026.
Motion to approve April 23rd, 2025 at 6 PM.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion?
That is a special night, just to.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to point out, that is a special meeting night, so our regular meeting is the 16th, and this would be a special meeting the following Wednesday to meet our deadline for publication
Right.
notice.
We'll be doing the PowerPoint presentation that night as well.
Call for a vote?
Young,
Aye.
Covert,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lees.
Aye.
Motion carries. Our next one is consider a resolution setting a public hearing date. Wait a second. Budget amendment for fiscal year 2024-2025.
Motion to approve May 7th, 2025 at 6 PM.
Support.
Motion and support. Roll call.
Covert,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Young.
Aye.
Motion carries. Consider a resolution setting salary and benefits for police sergeants.
Motion approved.
And support.
Motion and support. Discussion? Seeing none? Call for a vote.
Crowner,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Young,
Aye.
Covert.
Aye.
Motion carries. Last item of new business, consider a quote from Denko Highway Constructions for the joint and crack repairs for fiscal year 2025-26.
So moved.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion?
This will be our third year of doing this program with this new emulsion or emulsifier. I think we've been real happy with the results compared to, lack of a better word, tar. This will be the first year we do concrete streets rather than asphalt streets. Chase, did you have something?
I was gonna say that we're gonna be doing, starting on concrete roads now, since we got all the asphalt. And so there will be black marks on the concrete. But the guy said that it normally lasts about 7 years on busy roads, but in town, we should have no problem lasting 10 years, maybe even longer, so.
This allows
This
us
will
to
help
get
us
on the
extend the
calendar
life of
for
our
us
streets
next fiscal year.
Yeah,
This
from
is
a maintenance
for
perspective.
after July.
after July 1st.
Same with the striping, so. They need an okay to get on the schedule, so.
This seems like a very cost-effective preventive maintenance thing.
Yeah,
You know,
I
we,
agree.
at the cost of roads and streets to repair, and if we get 5-10 more years out of it, it's a good deal, I think. Because water will upheave anything, so it's pretty strong.
Have you looked in at all to how much it would cost to do this ourselves?
I have not, I know Mike did,
Oh.
and I think it got shut down really quick, but I don't know what he looked into, but
Okay, I just wondered.
I think the problem with it, he ran into is how many people it would take and how long it would take for us to do it compared to all their equipment they have and their guys. Because when they come in to do it, they have, I want to say like 20 guys doing it, coming through town, so.
I seem to remember that. I remember Kathy Christie being really big on asking questions about that. And, okay.
We used to do some of the tar work in-house. This is a totally different product, and it seems to be working a lot better. Jason can probably describe it better than I, but it seals it from the bottom up and keeps the water out. So
It's the same material, but it has water in it. It has tar, or they add water to the tar, so then it sinks to the bottom of the crack. So it seals the moisture from coming up, pretty much, instead of just sitting on the top.
Any further discussion?
I don't.
If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. Seeing no other citizens, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
Motion and support. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. We are adjourned.